You're listening to Mindset Live on the Mindset Network.
Yeah, baby. It's Mindset Live, episode 12 coming at you. That was Slapdash. I'm Gareth in L.A., and once again in the Mindset Studio, I'm joined by the one, the only. Ladies and gentlemen, give a big California welcome to Mr. Joe Dunn. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Gareth. Hey, would you fly me to California from Florida?
Absolutely.
How you doing, man? It's good to be back.
Aren't you sitting right opposite me right now with the microphone in front of your face?
Yes, I just transported.
Beam me over, Scotty.
Beat me up. Yeah, man. Good to be back. Mindset Live. Always excited. After hours on Mindset here on Friday night.
There's something about doing a live show that's kind of I don't know. It's a very peculiar feeling. Like a lot of the other podcasts we do on Mindset Central, you know, they're all pre-recorded. Well, they're recorded live, but only we hear it. and then at a later date, we put those out onto the interwebs. But the beauty of that is that if something goes wrong, if there's a technical glitch or something happens, we can fix it so that when it does go out to our listening public, they don't know. It sounds fine. But that's not the case with Mindset Live, and things can and occasionally do go wrong. But knock on wood, that's not going to happen tonight.
Yeah, it's come together. I mean, what are we? Episode 12 right now. So There's been a few episodes where we had some hiccups, but you know, we pull through.
We do. So as this is episode 12, you know what next week's is going to be, right?
13. Lucky 13.
So should we do like most buildings and like skip the 13th floor and go straight to the 14th? Or should we just say, you know what, screw it, 13?
I think we should go with 13, but that's funny you mentioned that. Go straight to 14.
Isn't that weird when when you're a kid or something, you're in an elevator going up?
Yeah, there never is a 13th
11,
floor.
12, 14. You know what? Where's Raggy? Where's 13? Where'd it go?
Hey, I want to ask you, so we've been doing these episodes of Mindset Live. What do you think this podcast in general brings to Mindset Central? Because Mindset Central has an array of podcasts, as you were just talking about.
Yeah, it does.
This is a little bit different. I mean, what do you kind of think? When you come here to these shows, what do you like to get from it?
It's a little bit more relaxed than the other shows. not that there aren't moments of intense relaxation on other shows also, folks, but on this show it's a little bit more laid back. We kid around, we joke around, a lot more emphasis on making fun of stuff and more humorous. But we do get into the conspiracy angles a little bit occasionally. But it's more, we just poke fun at media and have a good time and play some rockin' tunes at the same time. And I think it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it too. And it's the way, we bring a lot of kind of offbeat stories to the show here.
Totally.
And, different than the mindset shows, as you mentioned, but also I think the show's kind of evolving. So as each episode goes on, there'll be more in the shows, I think.
Oh, yeah. We got some plans. We're going to mix it up a little bit. We got the Wheel of News coming up a little bit later on the show. That's a big hit. A lot of people like the Wheel of News. We spin that wheel and get some random crazy news stories that's been populating the mainstream media this week, which is really cool for me because I enjoy ripping these things apart. I enjoy laughing at these imbecile retards that are sitting in front of teleprompters reading stuff and looking into cameras, and I like making fun of those guys because I think they're dopes.
Yeah, that's what I like about it too. I know I like to get the stories for the Wheel of News.
So Joe,
yeah, I was just gonna say. So this is also kind of an evolution from Mindset Moments in some ways.
Yeah, in a way, in a lot of ways it is. Mindset Moments has not gone away. I'm still going to do that occasionally, but it is kind of an evolution because I remember a while ago, back when I was doing Mindset Moments almost every day. And it was something very similar to this, where I said, "Hey, Joe, you want to come on?" You're like, "Sure." And we recorded a show which could be like, the origin of Mindset Live, because it was very similar. We kidded around, playing some music. And that show is still available for subscribers if you wanted to check it out.
Yeah, and when you do Mindset Moments, it's the subscription area of the site, so you do get a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. This podcast, you also get some behind-the-scenes kind of updates about the site as well, too, so I think that's a good part of it.
Well, the great thing is that even though the vast majority of the listeners for Mindset Live do not listen live, they listen on the Monday when they download the show. And we have a lot of people who love the show and listen to it after the fact. But because, we broadcast all over the world, wherever there's an internet connection and a computer, no matter where you are in the world, you can listen to Mindset Live. But because of the time zone, sometimes it's difficult to be there at the right time, to listen, listen to the show. But it's definitely something you should do, because if you want to get behind the scenes glimpses as to what really happens on Mindset and what's coming up, sometimes when the show's over, we'll just keep talking.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it. So definitely check that out. It's the subscription section at Mindset Central.
So what have you been up to this week, dude? I was going
to ask you, man, what you been up to?
No, I asked you first.
Oh, I asked you. No, man, this week, dude, I don't know about you. What's messed me up is the time change.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I know usually it's the hour forward that messes you up too. Yeah, I think a lot more, but totally. This week I've been feeling it. I've been feeling the effects from it.
Like getting dark earlier and stuff.
Yeah, and just your body's kind of out of sync. I keep thinking like it's an hour ahead of time. Speaking of time, time differences.
Yeah, it's usually for me the one that messes me up is when we go forward. Is you feel spring forward and fall back. The one in the fall doesn't really faze me that much, but come next March or April, that's gonna mess with me bad. It always does.
Yeah, so it actually inspired me this week. On Tuesday, I did a Mindset Daily on daylight savings time.
Yeah.
The twist was the negative effects of it. So there's been some effects health effects, for example.
Yeah. Now speaking of health, we should because I haven't really done a show this week that addresses this, or had the moment to. But last week I was pretty sick. So we didn't do a Mindset podcast last Sunday. But rest assured, we'll be back this Sunday. So if you're listening live right now, Sunday will be on. If you listen on Monday or after the fact, then you'll know that we've been on. But yeah, dude, I don't know what it was. I had a really bad upset stomach for like 3 days.
Yeah, that sucks.
Like
and
bad.
I remember talking to you last Friday on the show. You were feeling sick as we were getting ready to do the show. You said you were feeling kind of sick then.
And it was like, it was Saturday night. And, I was trying to pull some clips and stuff and get things ready for Sunday's Mindset podcast. And my stomach was killing me, and I felt my throat, and then I'm going to get a cold, and I felt like shit. And I was like, you know what? I'm not into this. So I sent out a message. Sorry, everyone. I'm going to have to cancel. I just did not feel great at all. But, stuff happens. What are you going to do?
Yeah, now you're better. So
now I'm
good to have you back. Now you're back at 100%. Soldier.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
So yeah, that messed me up this week. A little bit of time change, more just the tired factor, the body. And it was interesting doing that Mindset Daily because I learned a lot about the different effects, the history of it. It's quite fascinating.
It's weird, huh?
Yeah, it's weird, and not everybody changes their time.
Yeah, it's just it's totally fake and manipulative and just done to they say daylight savings, but because we're up to so much other stuff, it doesn't really matter.
And let's see, another note. Last week I got out after the show. I think I went out doing some hiking, checking out some historical sites. Did that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, you got a hard on for cemeteries, dude. You're running into cemeteries every 3 seconds. What's going on?
I can't help it. I've been thinking about this because just last week, dude, I visited like 3 church and cemetery combinations.
That's awesome, though.
And these things are from the very old. So
yeah, you
I don't
find
know
some great stuff.
Is something drawing me to these things? I don't know. I mean, I actually kind of thought about that.
You are drawn to the grave.
So I have another trip lined up soon. I want to tell you about it. It's kind of interesting. It's down south of me, a couple hours.
Did you wait? Did you just say that it's down south?
Down south. Down south, boy. No. Yeah, because I'm more of Central Florida is where I'm at.
So when you go into the cemetery, is like the caretaker, he's going to look at you and he's going to go,
Not funny, haha, funny, queer. Mm-hmm.
So anyways, yeah, it's pretty funny. That is true. I have seen caretakers out there. Mm-hmm. I kind of just keep my distance, it's like.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I think of like a caretaker or something, I always think of Scooby-Doo. It's Old Man Rogers, the caretaker.
Here, I'll post this link to you right now. So my next trip I got set up, I wanted to bring up real quick. It's interesting. It's the remains of an unusual pioneer settlement. And it's from 1884. A guy moved down here from Chicago, right, to start a new religion.
Oh.
And he called it the New Jerusalem. And he built like a little community, dude. Houses there, all kinds of structures, right?
Yeah.
He died in 1908. The group declined until the 4 remaining inhabitants gave up the property to the state in 1961. So I'm going to go down there and check this place out. It's still there, and it's a state park now.
Yeah, you got to film all this stuff. You got to plan out your filming, though, dude, and then you got to edit it, and then you make a cool little movie.
Yeah, there's the link for you if you want to post it. So people listen, maybe you can check this out. And maybe it'll inspire you to look in your own area, look up some history, and get out there and check it out. Because you run into some strange things. I've been begging Gareth to get out to some places in California. There's all kinds of stuff out there, dude.
There's nothing out here, man.
Bullshit. There's ghost towns.
Out here.
Right off the bat, I already told you I wanted you to do the Manson settlement.
Oh, I know. That'd be so awesome.
That'd be pretty cool, filming that.
See, the thing is, though, dude, I got no one to go out there with. I mean, I'm not going to take my wife and kids. I bring this up to my wife. She look at me like I'm a mental case. What?
Okay, here's what you do. This is how you get the kids and family involved. You bring in geocaching to it.
Geocaching.
Because kids love trying to find hidden stuff like treasures.
Oh,
and things,
speaking of finding hidden stuff, tell us about those fucking caves, dude.
Oh yeah, that's another thing I did my last trip. So I planned that, and with find those cemeteries, I went out to these caves. That was my hike. That was pretty cool, man. Did you see that video I did of that?
Yeah, it was great.
These caves are like these. It's a pit. It used to be an old pit they dug up for mining. Well, now it's mountain bikers can go back there and ride around the trails. It's real rugged. Well, when they were digging it up, they exposed these caves, and it's more like a cavern when you go in there. It's like a little 2 foot tall diameter kind of hole.
Right.
And a side of a kind of a rock cliff face.
Yeah.
And the cliff's only about maybe 50 feet up. But you go into this hole and it opens up into this cavern.
It's a pretty small hole. So let me walk through this with you, right? So did you stumble across the hole, or you went there specifically knowing it was there?
No, I knew it was there. That's part of my research. I try to find these areas, and I got the coordinates basically, and I was guessing that the coordinates would be right.
So this is not like you're just walking along saying, "Hey, look at that! There's a hole. Let me check that out." You knew it was there, and you were looking for it.
I did. Now there have been times where I have done that, where I've run into things not knowing it. And that's the awesome part about doing this.
Well, let me ask you this then, dude. Now, because you knew it was there and you'd done some research and you knew what it was all about, going in there was not a big deal because you're already mentally prepared. You already did the research. You knew what it was all about. So crawling into that little crawl space and standing up in the cave, you were cool with that.
Yeah, but I didn't know about how it looked on the inside.
No, I know, but you knew that you could go in there and it was fine, right? Because you found out beforehand. But let me ask you this: what if you had been walking along and you didn't know it was there, and you found it purely by accident? Would you have gone in there then?
Good question, dude. Because actually, I don't know. Because. Actually, a couple months ago, I was out looking at some caves in this area, right? It used to, ironically, it was also it's an abandoned strip mine. I went back there. I found these where I knew where the caves were, so I went to those ones. They were fenced up. You can't get into them.
Right. Did you go in?
I'm going to have to walk further back in, right?
But did you go in the cave?
Oh, the fenced up ones? No.
No. But if you'd hopped the fence, you could have got in there, though, right?
You could, but I'm going to wait till dry season. When it's like right now, it's starting to get cooler in the wintertime. It's not as overgrown down and picked back there and stuff, you know. Like I couldn't even see kind of where the entrance was.
Yeah.
And some of these things are in the ground. You're walking on top of it, so you don't want to walk down into a hole.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if you're going into a cave, especially if the cave is a small entrance to get in and out, right? Now it might open up to some huge cavern, right? You know, this enormous space. But if you got to crawl through some little crawl space to get in there, and you haven't done the research and you've just found it by accident, that's some scary shit, dude.
It is. And so what happened, the fenced in ones, I didn't go in, right? So I walked further down. I found this open kind of like a pit. It looked like a crater a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And it was probably about 20 feet down in the ground. So I climbed down into that. I did a video of it. And at the bottom of that pit, there's another hole just like the one you saw this past week.
Yeah.
And it's actually a little bit bigger, but that was unplanned, as you said, and I didn't go in there.
Yeah, just in case.
Because I felt what you just said. I felt like I didn't know.
Right, because you don't know what's in there, right? You could climb in there, and there might be like 1,000-foot drop or something. Or you could climb in, and there could be a fucking bear in there, or a rattlesnake, or who knows what.
And when you start getting into that kind of stuff like caving, I mean, you got to be really skilled and know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I try to be cautious because I'm more experienced above the ground.
No, I hear you. I'm dude. Trust me. I'm with you.
There was another one nearby.
I'm with you all your way. I just know I wouldn't got it.
You got some out there. You probably could go find.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
So there was another one right by that dude, and I didn't go in it. I knew of it, but just the way it was kind of like
didn't look too inviting.
A 90-degree angle right into the ground, and the hole was real small, but you had to crawl down into it. I just didn't want to go down in there because I didn't know if I can get back up.
Yeah, right.
I didn't have a rope with me.
You imagine that? Did you crawl in there, you lose your footing and you fall, but you don't hurt yourself. You just fall, and then you get up and you're fine, but you're falling to such a point where you can't get out.
And you hear that echo sound effect you just did. I can't get out.
You're like, hello? Hey, I'm stuck down here. Can you hear me? Hello? Oh no.
That's exactly what it would do.
You'd be like, oh, what am I going to do? There's nobody. Hello? Hang on, let me just light this match. There's nothing, nobody in here. What am I going to do? Oh no, I'm running out of air. Hello, help! Help! It'd be kind of scary, huh?
Dude, I felt like I was like listening to a movie or something.
You felt like you were in there then, huh?
Yeah. It scared me, man.
There's nobody. Oh no. Hang on. No, don't go out. Don't go out. No flashlight. Oh shit, the battery died. Oh no. I can't see a thing. I can't see it. It's so dark. I can't even see my hand in front of my face. It's so dark in here. Hello? Is anybody in here with me? Wow, man. I could do like a drama radio show, huh?
Yeah, man. I was totally listening to that.
Did you believe that you were really in a cave?
I believe that.
You believed it, huh?
Yeah.
That sounded real. Shit, for a second,
that's
I
what
thought I was
like going in there.
Yeah, it is scary. I know that X-Mindset co-host Peter Glynn used to be into the cave. I don't know whether he is now. I don't know whether he still does it, but I know that.
Yeah, I remember seeing his videos. He's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, back in the day, he used to go down there and stuff, and it was like, fuck, man. I mean, I remember talking to him saying, dude, and he would get right in there in the caves, like deep inside, all kinds of shit. He'd have like
I like the sunshine. I can only handle it for a little bit. I got to be out in the.
Are you claustrophobic?
Yeah, that's what's weird. I'm claustrophobic.
Yeah, then that would.
I had this. They pull you in. I'm fascinated by them.
That would mess you up, though. If you're claustrophobic and you're like, if you're in an elevator packed with people, do you start freaking out a little bit? So
not so much that. It's more tight spaces, like you can't get out of somewhere or something, or not so much an elevator, like a cave or something.
Yeah, dude. I had an unnerving experience when I was a kid. So when I was a kid, me and my buddy, what was his name? Kevin Holt. We went to this cardboard factory. And we're in the cardboard factory, and outside the cardboard factory, they had these stacks and huge stacks of cardboard, all like trussed up like bales of hay, but cardboard.
Yeah.
Like thousands and thousands of them, all stacked up on top of each other.
Jeez.
So we climbed to the top of this massive, huge stack of cardboard things. And we're right at the top, and we're jumping from stack to stack, fooling around. And guess what happens?
What happened?
I slipped.
What'd you do? When you slipped in there?
I slipped, and I fell right down the center of the stacks of cardboards, in between two huge piles. So I was like lodged in between these huge piles of cardboard.
And were you like, you felt claustrophobic?
Well, I couldn't move. I was completely trapped, like up in the air, stuck between and I was screaming. And my buddy's like, I can't get you. I can't reach you. I can't reach you. I said, go get somebody. Go get somebody. And he ran to go get help. And I'm stuck. And I'm there for what seems like an eternity, dude.
Jeez.
It seems like it must have only been a few minutes, but it felt like I was there for hours, right? And then I hear footsteps and I hear climbing, and then he shows up with the factory security guard. And the security guard lies down on his stomach and reaches down and just barely grabs my hand and pulls me out. And you were like, oh, thank God. And it was the greatest feeling ever. And I felt like an insect. And in some ways, I felt like a cockroach. feel like a cockroach, Joe?
Yeah, man, I hate cockroaches.
Who was that? Who was that band? Who is that?
Oh, dude, that's a band called Crocodiles.
Have we played them before? Man. They sound familiar.
Well, I played their song on Mindset Radio Hour before. You might have heard them there.
That must be it.
Yeah, I played them on a few episodes ago. That's off their album Crimes of Passion. Their albums are really awesome. They have a ton of music out. If you go to, do you ever use that site, Last FM?
Yeah, I used to be a huge fan of Last FM.
Yeah, me too.
But I haven't used it that much in a long time.
They're on there. So Last FM, I think it's /Crocodiles. Just search for them on there.
You know when I started drifting away from Last FM? When Ping came. Remember Ping?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
the Apple they tried to do like their own music. It failed abysmally. It was a terrible failure. But I remember I thought, I'm gonna focus totally on Ping. I was like, fuck Last FM. But Last FM was and probably still is a much better service.
It's still around, and it's a great site for just indie bands and all bands like underground music, things like that.
Yeah.
Because I find a lot of bands on there, and that's where you can find this one, as I mentioned. So, and I do want to mention Mindset Radio Hour. I hope everybody liked the last episode. I had a lot of great tunes on that one. I have episode 45 coming out.
Excellent. Can't wait.
Yeah, I'm working on it this weekend, actually, after the show here. Keeping me busy, Gareth.
Awesome. Hey, so what do you think of my stuck in front in the cardboard story, dude?
That was awesome. You always have some interesting stories.
Dude. I got to elaborate on it a little bit. The feeling of being stuck, and you couldn't move, right? I'm lodged between these massive, huge stacks of cardboard. My feet are just dangling, and I can't move. I'm completely lodged. And it's a terrifying feeling. So I can totally get where you're coming from as far as like, when you go into these caves, if you were to get stuck, and you couldn't move or you're trapped or something. Yeah. That's not a good feeling.
That's the first thought I have when I go into them. Like, what that crosses my mind first. Am I going to get stuck in there?
Well, what just popped into my head too? Remember that guy who was out hiking out in the wilderness on his own? And he was in Arizona or someplace up in the mountains. And he slipped and he fell down and his arm got lodged in like these two rocks.
Oh, and it sliced his arm off to get free?
And he was fine. Nothing was broken. He was totally fine. Maybe he got the wind knocked out of him or something, but he wasn't damaged in any way. Even his arm that was trapped was totally fine. If the rescue crew had come, they would have just busted the rock around it, and he would have been 100% A-okay. But he could not release his arm from the rock, no matter what he tried. And he was there for days trying to get his arm out. And it got to the point where he realized that unless he frees himself, he's going to die. There's no,
what do you do in that moment?
Well, he pulled out his knife and proceeded to cut his hand off.
And people listening and you and I right now might think that's unheard of, but when you're in that moment, and it's life or death.
Well, yeah. I mean, if
survival takes over,
there's no ifs or buts about it, dude. If he hadn't have cut his hand off, he would be dead. Bottom line.
Yeah, he wouldn't survive. So he had to do something to get out of there, and that's his alternative. But now he can get a bionic arm.
Yeah. But can you imagine being faced with that kind of dilemma? Like, you have to cut your own hand off, or you'll die. You know what, dude? I think most people would die.
I think most people wouldn't go through with it.
Yeah.
Because it's, I know I say it's survival mode, but whether people are going to do that.
Yeah. I think most people would they just die. They
would wait. They would hope that someone would find them. Right. And they'd eventually starve to death.
They starve to death and then they die, and then that'd be the end of that.
Or dehydrate actually faster. They dehydrate.
Yeah.
Or get eaten by vultures or something.
Right.
They come down and start pecking at your eyes.
Yeah, because, I mean, cutting your arm, forget your arm. I mean, Can you put your hand on a table and hit one of your fingers with a hammer? Oof. Can you?
That's nothing compared to having to probably cut it off.
Exactly, but can you do that? There's no way I could do that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Sheesh. He's so crazy. So you're sitting there, and you want to hit your fingers off. Could you do that?
Yeah, there you go.
Could you do that, Joe?
Yeah, you got to hammer it off. Hammer off your arm, dude.
I'm trapped. I can't get out. Oh, I'm gonna cut my hand off.
The pain.
Yeah. The pain. Yeah, it's a devastating thing to think of something like that. But I mean, the guy did it. They made a movie of it too, right? Matthew McConaughey made a movie about that. I think it was Matthew McConaughey. They made a movie. I haven't seen the movie, but it's apparently very good.
I remember when it came out. I haven't seen it either.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies, I wanted to go see a movie this week, man, but it's so damn expensive.
You did go, or you're thinking?
No, I wanted to go. It's so expensive.
What did you want to go see?
Well,
Thor, God of Thunder. Am I right?
No. I wanted to see. I've been wanting to see Gravity.
Oh yeah. That's supposed to be.
And
really
it's in
good.
3. You got to see it in 3D, and that's the ones that are expensive. But also Ender's Game came out. I wanted to ask you what you thought of that. If you think that's a good one.
I want to see it. Even though the gays are going mental with this Orson Scott Card, dude. Have you heard this story with this guy?
No, I haven't heard. Update me. Update me.
So this dude, and forgive me, listeners, but I may get vast swathes of this next story wrong. So forgive me if I do. But so apparently this guy, Scott Orson Card, he's a very successful writer, science fiction author. He wrote Ender's Game and the sequels and blah blah blah. And I've never read the book and I haven't seen the movie, but all my life I've heard from other science fiction fans that Ender's Game is one of the greatest science fiction novels ever. Right? And I've always had it in like the back of my mind, like, you should read that book. Read that fucking book. But I've just never gotten around to reading it. Even though, subconsciously it's like, read the book.
You'll see the movie first. I know it.
Probably so, yeah.
And I want to see it. I mean, it looks interesting. I might just wait for it to come out.
And it's the book is supposed to be like, scale of 1 to 10. The book is like a 9. Right. The book is like amazing. And apparently the movie is fairly close to the book, but it's obviously movies are never as good as the book, but it'll probably be like maybe a 7 or an 8 out of 10, which is pretty good. So so go ahead.
I was gonna say, supposedly, with me, like with movies, like I'm pretty selective going to the theater and actually seeing them versus just waiting until they come out where I can get them on at home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe Ender's Game, maybe like that. I might wait for it to come out. But Gravity was one of those ones that, I heard it you're supposed to see in 3D.
Oh, yeah. Gravity is supposed to be amazing. Amazing.
So I've been wanting to check that out, but I don't know if it's good or not, but we'll see. I like those space kind of sci-fi movies.
Yeah. So anyway, back to Orson Scott Card and the Ender's Game. So they make the movie, Harrison Ford's in it. Looks pretty awesome, getting great reviews. And it comes out that this dude, this writer, this Orson Scott Card, he's like super homophobic, right? He's not into the gays.
I don't know.
Right? Not even
controversy.
Not even close. Right? He's not into that shit at all. And he's rabidly voting against the marriage thing, and where he's all gruff and we get the gays, we got to stop that, it's immoral, it's unnatural, blah, 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 blah. And he's all acting like a fucking mental case about this. So then,
why is that?
Fuck knows, dude. Who knows? Maybe he's a bit mental. Maybe he's a half a fag himself. Who knows? Whatever.
Well, why can't he just keep it to himself?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, and you find, I don't know what you do. Have you noticed that people who are like rabidly anti-gay are usually gay themselves, but they just can't handle it?
And usually the most vocal.
Do you know what I mean? Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Totally see. These fucking fags. And it turns out, he's banging some fucking dude in a hotel room 2 days later. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's like total like lunacy.
So what happened with this guy?
So he's very public and he's very openly against the whole gay thing. So, I mean, and understandably so. There's a lot of gay people who are a little upset by this, right? Now, there's a lot of science fiction fans who just happen to be gay, who loved the book, who really want to see the movie, and then this fucking retard opens his big dopey mouth and starts spouting his bullshit.
And now those people don't want to see it.
Boycott. We got to boycott the movie.
Ban it.
Ban the movie. Boycott it.
Yep. Yeah. That's why I asked, why didn't he just keep it to himself? Wouldn't he know this isn't a good idea?
All right, so what? So you're not into the gays. So shut the fuck up.
Make your movie. Don't worry about it.
Write your book. Make your movie and shut the fuck up about it. You know what I mean? What's he blabbing about the fucking I hate the gays? Shut up. What
even brought it up?
Why do we even care what this fucking retard says? Shut up.
How'd they go from Ender's Game to that?
Well, I don't know, dude. I mean, something must have happened in his life, or maybe he was just always that way. Who knows? Who the fuck? I can't fathom the ramblings of an imbecile's mind. I mean, who knows?
So I wanted to ask you, dude. I saw the headlines for Star Wars.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think the force is strong with this one.
You think it's so? What's the date on it? 2015, December.
Yeah, December 18th, 2015.
Did you know it's the only Star Wars that hasn't been released in the summer?
I know. Usually they come out in May.
Yeah.
So, here's the weird thing about the Star Wars, right? Is they're not going to film it digitally. They're going to use film. Which is weird because George Lucas is very kind of cutting edge or maybe even bleeding edge. He embraces new technology. He was the first filmmaker to make an entire feature-length movie 100% on digital.
So he's going backwards.
Right. So, digital is getting so good now, right? That it's in many ways, it's superior to film. I
think maybe it's just trying to not look too modern compared to the other ones, maybe.
I don't know. So here's the weird thing though. They're making it on film, which is a little retro. Plus it's going to be in 3D.
Huh.
Now, I can hang with the film, right? Because film, let's be honest, film is beautiful image quality. Let's be honest, right? It's beautiful quality. So if they say we're going to make it in film, all right, it's a little retro, but if it gives me a kick-ass visual experience, let's go. Knock it out. But the second they said, and it's going to be in 3D, I'm like, what are you, fucking mental? What's this 3D shit? Everyone's with
Everything
the 3D.
Is 3D. Everything, dude.
It's like, enough.
It's
a retard fest. I'm sitting there with fucking these retard glasses on, staring at a wall. What the fuck's wrong with these people?
Well, by that time, maybe it'll be different. Maybe you'll have,
you know what?
Contact lenses or something.
Let me tell you this, dude. The only time they should make a Star Wars movie in 3D is if fucking Princess Leia appears out of a fucking R2 unit on my lap and says, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope." Right?
Yeah, or like how they do it in the movie with the illusion.
Exactly. Unless it's going to be like that, I don't want to know.
I just don't know. I mean, what are they going to do? Keep making these now?
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't know about that.
That's going to be, the years ago, I remember, because I'm an old fuck, I remember when Empire Strikes Back came out, and I remember Lucas doing interviews saying, yes, I've written 9 episodes for Star Wars. So he says, we're going to do 4, 5, and 6, then we're going to go back and do 1, 2, 3, and then we'll do, 7 through 9.
So we got these 3 coming up.
And this was back in like 81 or 82 or something. And
very clever.
So there's 3 more episodes that's going to come out. But because Disney now owns Star Wars, they're going to milk the shit out of this, right? Shit. So not only are we going to get episodes 7, 8, and 9, we're also going to get other Star Wars movies which are not a part of the episodes, but they're going to be like separate movies. So
spin-offs.
Yeah. So the rumor is that in 2015 we'll have episode 7. 2016 we'll have a Han Solo movie, right? 2017 we'll have episode 8. 2018 we're going to have either a Boba Fett or an Obi-Wan movie. And then 2019 will be episode 9.
Wow. And then sprinkled in will be a bunch of other stuff.
Well, sprinkled in amongst all that is probably going to be a couple of TV series, couple of cartoons. Who knows?
Games, toys.
Books, whatever. They're going to milk the shit out of this.
Yeah, Disney does that.
Right.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I remember when they did the recent ones, and they were like, "Oh, this is going to be released in 2005." And looking back, it's like, wow, it's so long ago now.
Well, that's the thing. It's like when you think about time, when you look forward 5 years, it seems like a lifetime. Like if I would say to you, Joe, you know what? 5 years from now, this will happen, and you're like, "Fuck, that's a long way. 5 years from now, it's a long time ago." But then you look back 5 years. It's like yesterday.
Exactly. That's why I look back on this.
You know what I mean? It's weird.
So I'm looking forward to seeing it, though.
Yeah, me too.
All right, folks. You ready to get into some news, some offbeat news, wheel of news?
Oh, yes.
All right. Let's see what we got.
Gareth, you give it a spin if you want. The first one.
You want me to start it?
You started off this time.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, living on a prayer.
Oh, this is a great one.
Take my hand. Yeah.
Living on a prayer. Check this out. This is about prayer being used in like legislative town hall meetings, things like that. There's a controversy about this coming on. Maybe we should start off with the clip here so we can get some insight to this.
Well, yeah, this is a controversy. Living on a prayer. Okay. I have a feeling this is going to get my blood boiling, Joe.
It is. Well, hold on, let me get you the link. Hold on, everybody. There's the link. Basically, it's prayer at a government meetings and stuff.
All right.
How do you feel about that?
Right now, before we even played the clip, I think it's bullshit. Right? There should be an absolute separation of church and state. Okay? So whenever these fucking maniacs are babbling their political bullshit, they need to shut the fuck up about God. Now, when they go home and they hang with their family, or they go to church, or they can rant about Jesus all the fuck they want. But the minute they go to work and they put on their politician hat, they don't silence. There should be nothing about it.
Now that I've heard your opinion, I think your blood is going to be boiling when you hear this.
All right.
I like this. Let's dissect it. Let's get into it.
Okay, here we go.
NBC News World Headquarters in New York. This is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Is that guy drunk or what? They have drunk people announcing the news?
It's the nightly news.
It's the nightly. Well, it's after 6, so I can drink. God damn it! It's after 6. If I want to drink after 6, I'll drink.
NBC News World Headquarters in New York. This is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Good evening. It's plainly visible right there on the currency we use every single day. It says, "In God we trust." But even before this nation was a nation, the founders puzzled over a dilemma that's still an emotional one today. How much separation should there be, or must there be, between the government and religion?
Well, what do you mean? How? It's obvious. 100% separation.
How much should there be, and how much should
100% separation.
So no question about it, right? So what's the debate?
Well, because these people are packed.
What's the debate?
These people are packed packed to the fucking rafters with imbeciles, retards, and kiss asses because they know that 90% of the population of this country are whacked out of their skulls for Jesus. And if they want those fucks to vote for him, they gotta pander to these fucking retards.
That question was front and center today at the U.S. Supreme Court in a case involving something that also happens in this country every day, prayers said in public at things like town meetings. Our justice correspondent, Pete Williams, at the court for us tonight. Pete, good evening.
Brian, good evening. And nearly every government body in America opens its meetings with a prayer. The question for the justices, when does that go too far and violate the separation of church and state?
Lord, thank you for gathering us here this evening.
It's the way cities and towns have opened public meetings for hundreds of years in a country with God on its currency. Something like a prayer brings the Supreme Court to order.
God save the United States and this honorable court.
But Justice Elena Kagan asked today, suppose it began with a minister leading a prayer and talking about the sacrifice of Jesus Christ on the cross. Would that be permissible? The issue comes to the court from the town of Greece, New York. 2 residents, one Jewish, one atheist, sued, saying prayers that open their town board meetings, nearly always Christian, are unconstitutional, government endorsement of a single faith.
And we ask all these things in your holy name.
It absolutely is. I mean, dude, I don't even understand why they're even questioning this. It absolutely is unconstitutional. Why can't people see this?
Why can't people? That's what I ask.
I mean, this is not fucking rocket science. This is plain as day.
Because this is who they are. Their religion. I mean, it's more than just a religion to them. It's them. I mean, it's who they are, right?
But this is not anti-religion.
That's why they go along with it.
It's like the Constitution clearly says that you can believe in whatever fucking bullshit you want to believe in. You want to worship rocks? Go fucking worship them. Do what you want.
But you're not going to say a prayer to a rock at a town meeting.
Exactly. Or yeah. Anything that has official business, political official business that has to do with your state, your community, or the government should have nothing to do with religion. Zero. End of fucking story. Debate over. I mean, I don't even understand why these fools are even discussing this. There's nothing to discuss. There's nothing to discuss.
There isn't. There's no debate.
Yeah. And this whole, I pledge allegiance to the flag, one nation under, what do you mean? Wait, hang on a second there, pal. What the fuck was this God nonsense coming from? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. You want to continue the clip?
Sure.
And we ask all these things in your holy name.
Okay, spot quiz, dude. How many cigarettes do you think that guy smokes a day?
I'd say he smokes about at least 2 packs.
And we ask all these things in your holy name. Amen.
Yeah, I would say a pack and a half, maybe 2.
And we ask all these things in your holy name. Amen.
I don't think you should have to endure religious indoctrination in order to participate in your own town government.
Thank you. Someone with a fucking brain.
I don't think you should have to endure religious indoctrination in order to participate in your own town government.
But the town says it has history on its side.
We have a rich tradition back to our founding fathers of opening legislative meetings with prayer.
Several of the Supreme Court's liberals today questioned the practice, saying those who attend a town board meeting to ask for something may feel compelled to join a prayer to avoid offending board members. Justice Sonia Sotomayor asked, wouldn't those people feel coerced? But lawyers for the town say both houses of Congress have always started their days with prayers from paid chaplains, a practice the Supreme Court endorsed 30 years ago.
Eternal God.
This shit's got to end, dude.
Eternal God.
They need to why is this happening?
As we look upon this Constitution.
This is madness.
Do they have chaplains at the meetings, for real?
I mean, dude, this can't be true. I mean, come on. What is this? This is a theocracy? What the fuck is going on here?
So what do you say when they say they have history on their side?
Well, what fucking history?
the history of this tradition.
I mean,
this religious tradition of
all these mental
opening
cases,
the meetings with the prayer.
All these fucking retards got to do is read the Constitution, where it says that there is a separation of church and state, and if you don't understand those words, then you should be in a padded cell somewhere. All right, because I mean it's fucking plain English. You don't understand that? What the fuck are you doing in government? How hard is that?
And they don't have to change because it's part of their history.
Please, history. Shut the history.
So that can apply to all kinds of things.
These are their minds.
How great you are.
Justice Stephen Breyer suggested that the court could draw up rules to make local prayers more inclusive, like those in Congress, to all faiths. But Justice Samuel Alito said, I just don't see how it's possible to compose anything that you could call a prayer that is acceptable to all these groups.
Oh, my God. So, well, let's finish the thing first, because I want to see how they kind of end this nonsense rambling bullshit.
A majority of the justices seem willing to let government-led prayer continue without drawing up any new limits based on not much more than the fact that it's been done since the nation's founding. Brian?
Pete Williams starting us off at the Supreme Court tonight. Pete, thanks. Now we turn to this growing scandal involving bullying and the NFL.
Well,
that's the end.
So, Joe, let me ask you a question here. What was the point of that news story?
I think the point of it is to illustrate what you were just talking about, how there is no separation of church and state. That to me, it's an illusion.
Like when you have the president ending his speech with, God bless America. I mean,
it's those things as well. Which, when you hear stories like this, when you hear stories like this, it brings up a point that why is he doing that?
Now, see,
it's because the same thing, part of the history.
All the nut jobs, all the religious maniacs would say, you know, how dare you say that God? And I'm like, dude,
I'm already getting hate messages.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
It's like, you know, there's a separation of church and state for a reason, right? They didn't just wake up one morning and think, oh, let's separate church and state. There you go. I'm bored today. Let's do that. They're doing it for a reason, because they know that religion and politics, when they combine, mean, nasty, crazy bullshit usually happens. Let me give you an example. When you take politics and you take religion and you mix them together real good, you end up with something like the fucking Taliban, right?
Yep.
Who have religious law, you know. In the Quran it says, if you steal, we must cut your hand off. You know, you must have 40 lashes. You must be stoned to death. All this primitive, retard, stupid, nonsense bullshit. It's you know, the reason that there's a separation of church and state is because the people who wrote the Constitution knew that if those two things get combined, nasty, crazy shenanigans ensue.
But obviously there was a plan, because it's embedded in the money, and it's almost like ingrained in the nation,
well,
like in the mindset.
Not necessarily so. The whole, you know, I pledge allegiance and all this stuff, and God bless America. That's all from the 50s, dude.
I know, but I think as a kid, if say you're in school saying that, you don't even question it like that. You just kind of go along with it, and then as you get older, you kind of adopt it subconsciously. I think
this happened in the 50s, though, as a reaction to communist Russia, because the commies, those pinko commies, they're all atheists over there, right?
Yeah, it's all exactly.
So let's put one nation under God in the Pledge of Allegiance, right? As a reaction to communist Russia, the Cold War, all that fucking nonsense. So they stuffed that in there, and then even though they never took it out, it's still in there. You know.
So when you hear stories like this, does it make you think, like, why are we still even talking about this?
Because it's emotional, dude. People get really emotional with this stuff, you know.
That's another thing. You intertwine that into religion and politics. People's emotions.
Absolutely. Well, what do they tell you? In polite company, never talk about religion or politics. Right? They always tell you that because they know that once you do start talking about that, people are going to get bent out of shape. Like if I have an honest conversation with someone about religion, one of us or both of us is going to get upset.
And if people make comments to you about stuff, do you just ignore it and don't even go there?
It depends.
Because I think that's a smarter way.
Well, it depends.
A lot of times.
It depends on the situation, right? I mean, sometimes you'll just smile and be like, "Oh, okay, very, very good," and then move on, right? And other times you're like, "Dude, you're fucking crazy."
And sometimes I think that I'm like, you know what? Why do I care? If that person wants to think that way, whatever.
Absolutely, no, and you're absolutely correct. You know, whatever someone else's worldview is, it's none of your business, right? If they choose to believe, like I said earlier, if they want to worship rocks and run around in the moonlight naked, that's up to them. That's totally fine. People can believe in whatever they want, do whatever they want, and I have zero issue with it. I only have a problem with it is when whatever they believe in starts to negatively impact other people. Then I got a problem. If it doesn't, hey, enjoy. Get on with it. Do whatever you got to do.
So there you have it, living on a prayer. Speaking of living on a prayer, I got a great tune to go with this. Let's get into some music. We'll come back to some Wheel of News here on Mindset Live.
All right.
This song is called Asbestos of the Gods.
Asbestos of the Gods. What a great title. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. This is Asbestos of the Gods. You listen to the Mindset Live with Gareth and Joe. Asbestos of the gods. Asbestos of the gods.
Hey everybody, that was Jumpiter.
Who's that? Jumpiter
of the Gods here on Mindset Live. You're listening to Gareth Davies and myself, Joe Dunn. Welcome back, Gareth.
Welcome back, Joe. Welcome back. Asbestos.
Although we didn't go anywhere. We were here listening.
We were here the whole time listening to Asbestos of the Gods. Now, I have to tell you, Joe, I love the title of that track, and I like that track a lot. Asbestos of the Gods. Love it. Who is that? Who are they? Who is that? What is that?
The band's called Jumpiter, and they're from Brooklyn, New York.
Yo.
And you can find them online at jumpiter.bandcamp.com. They're also on Facebook, so you can find them on the internet. Very cool band. I like that track a lot.
Me too,
I got a couple
man.
of other songs
that was
too.
awesome. I love the track. I love the title, Asbestos of the Gods. I love
It's so
that.
true. I mean, what is asbestos? It's something that's like cancerous or like not good. You know what I mean?
It's that stuff they used to have in the ceilings in the 70s.
It reminds me, like the title, kind of. It's like a metaphor.
Well, see,
of like religion.
asbestos was a heat resistant substance, right? So you could have asbestos, and it could be like a raging fire, and the asbestos would be like, "Hey, fire, fuck you," and it wouldn't burn. So they used to coat these buildings in asbestos so that, if there was a fire, this asbestos was fire resistant. But what they didn't understand was over time, after like 10, 15, maybe 20 years, this asbestos shit that was fire retardant would start to dissolve, and it would start to turn to dust. And if you breathed in this dust, you would get major fucking cancer like no one's business.
Yeah, now you see all these attorney commercials on, about if you have it or if you know someone that's died from it, you can claim this much money.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely. They didn't know that, but the title of the track got me thinking about that, about religion and just how it's kind of like that.
Asbestos of the Gods. Great stuff.
I hope everybody liked it, and check out their songs at the websites I mentioned. They'll be in the show notes at mindsetcentral.com, as always.
Oh, yes.
All right, Joe, it is your turn to spin the wheel of news. So are you ready?
I am ready, and we have so many stories.
Then let's go.
Go ahead and
spin
quick spin.
I thought you were going to do a quick one, dude.
It went long.
You spun that hard.
Well, I just greased up the wheel. Oh, yes. This goes perfectly. We just passed Halloween, right, everybody?
We did.
And we talked about before Halloween, different decorations that were controversial decorations, like for your house. Remember that?
Yes.
Well, do any particular controversial Halloween costumes stand out to you? That you might have saw or heard about this season?
No.
Well, this clip has landed on a story called Halloween Costume Backlash. And we got 3 kind of short mini clips with this.
Mini clips.
The first one is a lady wore a costume to work, and it was she dressed up as a Boston bombing victim.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, dude. So there's a clip on that. She posted it online. She got fired from her job. Let me get the link to you.
Whoa, wait. Put the brakes on there, pal.
Oh.
She got fired?
She got fired. She got a lot of death. She got death threats online. Her family was...
Are you shitting me?
Yeah, dude. There's the link right there for you. Make sure to put that in the link.
All right, is this Boston bombing costume 1?
Yes, costume 1. There's 2 clips.
Okay, let's play this, because if she got fired for wearing a costume when the company said, "Hey, it's Halloween, come in a costume," I'm getting ready to lose my mind. All right, here we go.
Yep.
A woman is facing backlash over her controversial Halloween costume.
22-year-old Alicia Lynch tweeted a picture showing her dressed as a bloody victim of the Boston Marathon bombing.
Now, the picture has gone viral since then, triggering outrage and even...
You know what's really fucked up, dude?
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm listening.
So, I mean, the clip has been playing for less than 10 seconds, and already I want to reach through the TV and slap the shit out of these fucking imbecile presenters, right?
I knew it.
I want you to listen. I'm going to play it from the beginning again, and I want you to pay special attention to the chick retard reporter, or whatever the fuck they're called. They're not reporters. What are they reporters? They're reporters. They're not reporters.
Investigative reporters on scene.
Readers. They should be called readers. They're just reading shit. But listen to her voice. She goes, "Oh yes, like she's the tone of her voice is like, I am disgusted by what this person did. I'm so disgusted."
You're gonna
listen.
Michigan woman is facing backlash over her controversial Halloween costume.
22-year-old Alicia Lynch tweeted a picture showing her dressed as a bloody victim of the Boston Marathon bombing.
Now the picture has gone viral since then, triggering outrage and even death threats. TV5's Kristen Moore reports.
She shouldn't have dressed up like that. That's kind of ridiculous. It's pretty offensive.
People all across mid-Michigan and around the country are reacting to this. A picture of mid-Michigan resident Alicia Lynch.
Where? Okay, where? Oh my God! Where was this clip pulled? Dude? What region was this clip pulled from? Do you recall?
Yeah, I think it was around. I think she said Michigan or maybe up north somewhere.
Michigan, right. I want you to listen to the voice of this open quotes reporter, close quotes, when she reports. Now, I don't know what she looks like. I don't know whether she's hot, whether she's ugly, or somewhere in between. But her voice, she should not be on television or radio. Her voice is very annoying.
Actually, the link has the video clip right in there.
Listen to her voice.
People all across mid-Michigan and around the country are reacting to this. A picture of mid-Michigan resident Alicia Lynch dressed as a victim of the Boston Marathon bombings for Halloween.
Okay, we're gonna take the story from the top. Are you ready? Now, I want you to read this piece of paper as fast as you can, okay? Now, try not to pause for breath. And try to emphasize strange words, but I want you to read it as fast as you possibly can. Are you ready? Yes. Are you ready? Yes. Are you ready? Yes.
People all across mid-Michigan and around the country are reacting to this. A picture of mid-Michigan resident Alicia Lynch dressed as a victim of the...
Who says A?
She goes dressed as a...
No, she didn't say She says... A picture of a picture of a. Who talks like that, dude? I mean, serious. You would say she came dressed as a picture of a Boston bombing, or
because I think it's singling out
a picture of a. No. I'll tell you exactly what it is. Right? This chick is in a job that she shouldn't be in. She's reading the copy from a piece of paper or from her laptop. And she's emphasizing all the wrong words. Listen.
That's what I meant. She's emphasizing it.
Yeah, all the wrong words. Listen.
People all across mid-Michigan and around the country are reacting to this. A picture of mid-Michigan resident Alicia Lynch dressed as a victim of the Boston Marathon bombings for Halloween.
She has the right to dress as she wants to, but that's just a sensitive subject, and I don't see that as a good subject to dress as.
There you go. Finally, someone with a fucking brain in his head. Right?
Depends on how you view it.
No.
Do you think the costume was distasteful?
Doesn't matter. This is what this guy said is 100% accurate. Let's
play it again.
What this dude just said is 100% on the money. Listen.
She has the right to dress as she wants to, but that's just a sensitive subject, and I don't see that as a good subject to dress as.
There you go.
But his opinion was he doesn't think she should do it.
That's fine. No problem there.
All right, continue on then.
All right, that's cool. Here's what he didn't do. He didn't say, she should not have dressed that way. It's wrong. He just said, hey, you know what? People can dress however the fuck they want. I don't think it's appropriate, but hey, she do what she wants.
That's what I like about this clip, because they play different people in there talking about their opinions.
Listen to this guy. This guy's on the money.
She has the right to dress as she wants to, but that's just a sensitive subject, and I don't see that is a good subject to address as.
There you go.
Lynch tweeted the photo of herself at work wearing a Saginaw Valley State University racing shirt. In it, she had fake bloody wounds on her face and legs. The photo was posted on the website BuzzFeed.com, and the backlash
BuzzFeed.com.
She has the right to dress as she wants to, but that's just a sensitive subject that I don't see that is a good subject to address as.
Lynch tweeted the photo of herself at work wearing a Saginaw Valley State University racing shirt. In it, she had fake bloody wounds on her face and legs. The photo was posted on the website BuzzFeed.com, and the backlash began. Hundreds of thousands of angry comments flooded the site, some from people hurt in the attack themselves.
I don't know if I would want to do that at this point in time. It was kind of a bad situation.
On Friday, Lynch sent a tweet saying she had been fired from her job and that she was paying for what she thought was a simple joke. A source tells TV5 that she worked there at the Morley Company. We put in several calls to company representatives and are still waiting for them to respond. We went to the house where Lynch's family reportedly lives, but no one came to the door. After being thrust in the spotlight over this controversial costume, 22-year-old Alicia Lynch is now pleading for her and her family's privacy, as well as the public's forgiveness.
Hopefully, she's had second thoughts about it now.
What are you talking about? Public's forgiveness? Like the public putting her on trial?
Exactly.
What is up
That's what they got me about this story. It's like, oh, and it talks about all the different death threats, like online, cyberbullying, this whole thing coming out.
No, I want to think about this for a second. Who... okay.
You can't even get your head around it, can you?
If you're not mentally ill, right? If you're not like severely mentally retarded, if you're not like really, really fucked up in the head or like emotionally disturbed, why would you take time out of your day to make a death threat against someone for wearing a Halloween costume?
Because that's how our society is, overly sensitive.
Think about that for a second, though. I mean,
exactly. That's why I said earlier about things. Why do you care?
If you are a little mental, right? If you are a little fucked up in the head, there's something wrong with you. You're not 100% in the head, and you're making death threats. All right, it's fucked up. You're making death threats, but I get it. You're mental. But if you're not, if you're a sane, rational, normal human being, would you be making death threats to people? I mean, seriously.
No.
Of course not.
You shouldn't. But people do. And that's what happens.
Sane people don't, dude. Yeah. People who are fucking mental retards do. And the thing that gets me with this is she got fired. Now, see, if I was her boss and she came in and she was like, "Look at me, I'm a Boston bombing victim," I would have been like, "Okay, come in my office, sit the fuck down. This is inappropriate. You need to change." Boom! Problem is solved in 10 minutes. We're done.
Did you see the photo?
No.
If you look at the photo, I mean, she looks like a zombie in a way.
All right, you got to change, right? You can't wear that. It's inappropriate. Blah blah blah. Change. We're done. Now the fact that they fired her tells me a couple of things, right? A couple of possibilities here why they let her go. And I don't think the costume was the whole story. If the costume was the whole story, then her employers are cowardly pieces of shit, and she should get her job back immediately. But I don't think.
So what else would be part of the story?
I don't think that's the case. Here's what's going on. Let me tell you what's going on. This chick is a pain in the ass, right? For whatever reason, she's a pain in the ass at work. She does a shitty job. She's got an attitude, whatever. They're itching to get her out the fucking door. They've been dying to fire her for fucking months, but they can't because HR is up their ass over all kinds of bullshit, and she's not doing anything bad enough where they can can her. Suddenly, she shows up to work as a Boston bombing victim fucking costume. Suddenly the manager's like, yes! Finally, I have my excuse to get rid of this annoying bitch. You're fired.
But see, the rest of society thinks that's why they fired her. Not for the reasons you just said.
Doesn't matter, dude.
It does matter because then what's that tell you about society? They accept that.
It's a win-win, dude.
So that's what got me thinking about this.
Let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. Let's flip it the other way, right? This chick is well liked in her employment. She gets along with everyone. The managers love her. She does a kick-ass job. She does, everyone loves her. The customers love her. The people who work there love her. Good morning. Hey, good morning. How was your weekend? Oh, it was great. Everyone loves her. She gets along great with everyone, and she does a great job. She shows up as a Boston bombing victim. Is she going to get fired? No fucking way is she getting fired. No way.
Yeah, I see your point there.
No way.
So that's the Boston bombing controversy.
So that's what's going on.
Yeah, that's the breakdown on that. Now, the next up clip on this one is another related thing I want to talk about. It's the Cool Runnings costume.
Cool Run. Oh, wasn't that a movie or something?
Yeah, remember that movie Cool Runnings with John Candy and the bobsled team?
The Jamaican, Jamaican bobsled team, right? So what's the deal with this one?
This is also a controversial costume. They dressed up and they painted their faces black. And so they were in some trouble for that. So it got me thinking about Mindset Central. We have Ben Emlyn Jones on the Sunday show. He has his YouTube channel. He also did a YouTube video where he dressed up like Obama and painted his face black.
He did.
He took so much backlash for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, when I remember being on the show with Ben and talking about it, and he was like, "Yeah," I said, and I remember him telling me, and I'm thinking, "Are you fucking serious?" He's like, "Well, yeah, I didn't mean anything by it." I said, "Well, Ben, what's the fucking link?" And I remember pulling up this video and seeing him, and I have to tell you, dude. It was offensive.
I don't know. I kind of saw the other viewpoint of it as something, just a way of expressing your opinion.
And I told him so. I mean, he didn't agree, which is fine. But I thought it was offensive.
And he had his suit on, and he even had his hands painted black. So he was trying to impersonate Obama, basically. So, anyways, in this story, it's basically a high school football team, I believe.
All right.
The coaches had the kids dress up or whatever, the team.
Okay. Should you have a listen?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's get into it.
A couple of local high school football coaches and one teacher were officially suspended for wearing inappropriate Halloween costumes. Fox 5's Rena Nakano is joining us live from Skyline with more on their punishment. Rena.
Hey, Walter. Yeah, we are here at Morse High School right now, and in the distance here behind me, if you could see those white boys in white uniforms with gold helmets, they are the varsity Sarah.
Did she just say, can you see those white boys in white helmets?
Go back again?
Let's try that again.
Hey, Walter. Yeah, we are here at Morse High School right now, and in the distance here behind me, if you could see those white boys in white uniforms.
See, she caught herself then. She says white boys in listen.
If you could see those white boys in white uniforms with gold helmets, they are the varsity Sarah athletes. Now, we just spoke to Morse High School JV coach. It is his understanding that the varsity Sarah coaches in question today are here coaching their students. Now, whether that means that they already completed their 2-day suspensions or not, that is still unknown. It was a case of Halloween costume gone terribly wrong when 2 Sarah High School football coaches, Brian Bastines and Harold Seeley, and a teacher wore blackface to a Halloween event. They were portraying Jamaican bobsledders from the movie Cool Runnings. Many saying there's nothing cool about that.
Insensitive, it's racist, it's stereotypes, it's wrong. And in 2013, there's no reason for someone to have to be in blackface.
At a press conference Friday afternoon,
a lot of times when they did blackface, what they were doing was dehumanizing African Americans, and it was very offensive. A lot of times they exaggerated big lips, And we had a problem with it.
Some agree the employees most likely did not have...
All right, I got to say right here. I got to jump in and say that whoever that chick was right now just blabbing her stuff, she's 100% correct.
In what way?
Every way.
But I don't think these people are kind of impersonating the way she's talking about, though.
You don't think so?
No, they don't have the big lips on or something.
Let's know what she said. I think she's right. I think she's totally right. Listen.
They were portraying Jamaican
not this
bobsledders from
fucking stupid bitch. The other one. Not that.
And in 2013, there's no reason for someone...
I missed it now. Hang on.
Many saying there's nothing cool about that.
Doesn't she sound like a mouse or something?
Many saying there's nothing cool about that.
Insensitive, it's racist, it's stereotypes, it's wrong. And in 2013, there's no reason for someone to have to be in blackface.
At a press conference Friday afternoon,
a lot of times when they did blackface, what they were doing was dehumanizing African Americans, and it was very offensive. A lot of times they exaggerated big lips.
Yep, she's totally right.
How are they dehumanizing? That's what I don't understand. I don't think they are. By dressing up as the Jamaican bobsled team. And they want to get the full effect. What's the difference if they had like an actual face mask instead of painting their face?
Okay, so let me ask you this. Let's just imagine that Jamaica was populated by white people, right? Like the indigenous people of Jamaica were white. And they were going to dress up as the Jamaican bobsledding team. Why would they want to dress up as the Jamaican bobsledding team if it was just a bunch of white people?
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing.
Well, I'll tell you. Number one, they wouldn't do it. Right? Everything this chick just said as far as dehumanization, racist, she's 100% correct.
No, and I agree. Yeah, she does. I just don't think these people were portraying what she's...
Of course they were, dude. Of course.
If you see the pictures... Right there
I'm looking at the pictures right now, man. I look at the pictures. I'm like, what the fuck are you thinking?
They have the uniform on, the helmets, and they paint her face black.
Of course.
What's wrong? I just don't understand. Am I an outcast here on this?
I don't know, dude.
Because it's just a Halloween costume.
Well, it is, yeah. But I mean, I hear you. It is just a Halloween costume, but there are some kind of means.
Like, would a clown be offended?
What?
Yeah. If you paint your face like a clown.
Well, then you'd be a clown.
Yeah.
But I think there's definitely some undertones here going on.
There could be, and I see what you're saying. I get the point.
Some kind of race. Yeah, dude, we'll paint our face black. It'll be awesome. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, right? It's like, come on, dude. What the fuck's the matter with you? But yeah, it is what it is.
And
is there any more to the clip?
With it.
Some agree the employees most likely did not have any intention of mockery, but question their judgment.
So a lot of students and athletes look up to these coaches. Think about what they're doing on the job and especially off the job.
NAACP members say they applaud the district decision to suspend the employees and see this as a teachable moment.
That's crazy too. People look up to these. Who the fuck looks up to an athlete?
People do. They look up to role models.
I can throw a ball. Come on, what are you, mental? You looking up to someone who can kick a fucking ball? Oh my god, dude, we're doomed. We should just have a nuclear war right now. Be done with it. Get this fucking human fucking virus off the planet. Sick of this shit already.
I knew this one would get your blood boiling. So there were some controversial.
Sorry, go ahead.
There were some controversial stories this week.
There were some good ones.
As far as Halloween costumes.
Yeah, some good ones for sure.
So I'd like you to go up on the next topic here on the Wheel of News.
Okay. I'm going to do a little short
spin.
Give
it a quick spin there.
Quick spin. What is going on here, Joe?
I don't know. You tell me. I think it's just your night.
Soup Kitchen rejects atheists.
Oh, this is interesting. The Soup Kitchen, a Christian of Christian faith. And so the atheists wanted to help out, but because they weren't Christian and they were rejected.
Okay.
And basically they're helping out the homeless.
All right, so they're helping out the homeless. All right, is there a
the
clip?
twist is that does the homeless really care? I mean, they're getting.
Is this going to make me mental, dude? Is there a clip?
It's going to make you mental.
Is there a clip for this? Where's the clip?
There's actually 2 clips for this.
Right.
Soup Kitchen 1 and 2.
All right, let's listen to this. Oh my God, what the fuck is wrong with these people?
Some good folks in South Carolina. Their group is called Upstart Atheists, and what they want to do is
isn't that where that James Cox lives? South Carolina, isn't he over there?
I don't know. Is he?
I think he is, dude. I wonder if he was one of these jokers who went in there and started saying, "I'm an atheist. Give me some food."
Some good folks in South Carolina. Their group is called Upstart Atheists, and what they want to do is they want to help the homeless. So
that guy sounds a little bit Irish. That guy, huh? They're called Upstart Atheists. They wanted to go in there and start with it right now.
Some good folks in South Carolina. Their group is called Upstart Atheists, and what they want to do is they want to help the homeless. So they've got good intent. They've done this before. They help around Christmas time. They help in the soup kitchen, or they're trying to help in the soup kitchen in Spartanburg, South Carolina. What they do is they deliver care packages. Okay, that makes sense. And their president, Eve Brannon, said, I told the Spartanburg soup kitchen we wouldn't wear our T-shirts. I mean, it'd be terrible for them to try to proselytize. I mean, I know the Christians wouldn't do that when they give charity. Anyway, we wouldn't tell anyone who we were with. We just want to help out. And they told us that we were not allowed. Well, how very Christian. So a Christian church runs the soup kitchen. Bless their hearts. That's great. That's great. The atheists come in and say, hey, we'd like to give a care package. They're like, how dare you try to care for people? Out! Out! Right?
Who's this guy? Is this guy trying to be me? What's going on here?
It's just some news clip I got for this story.
Out!
Schnell! Schnell!
Out!
Achtung! Achtung! Schnell! Schnell!
For people. Out! Out!
Das Beeren bitte!
For people. Out! Out! Right?
Hey, you got a big dog there. What kind of breed is that?
People. Out! Out!
Whoa, hey, dude, calm your dog down, man. I was just going to pat him on the head.
Out! Out!
Dude, what kind of dog is that?
Out! Out!
Hey, that's a hell of a... What is that? Is that a Doberman?
Out! Out!
Oh, is it a Rottweiler?
Out! Out!
Is it a German Shepherd?
Out! Out!
Come on, Joe, help me out here. I'm running out of dogs.
Out! Out! Right? Now, to be fair, let's look at what's in the care package. Out! Out!
There's dogs in
Hey, what is that? Is that a St. Bernard?
Out! Out!
What kind of dog is that, dude?
Out! Out!
That's a big... Hey, he's got all the slobber on his mouth. What kind of dog is that?
Out! Out! Right? Now, to be fair, let's look at what's in the care package. It's probably full of satanic material. There's gloves, socks, toothpaste, toothbrushes, combs, soap, ponchos, razors, antiseptic wipes, deodorant.
There you see, we can't allow atheistic razors in with our homeless people because they might want to take their own lives. We can't allow that. I'm very sorry. No razor blades allowed. We like our homeless to have big, bushy beards. That's why we can differentiate them from normal, regular, clean-shaven, healthy, God-fearing Christians.
Ponchos, razors, antiseptic wipes, deodorant, tissues, and gum. Obviously, all this, the devil's playground.
Of course. It is the work of the devil. The devil, I tell you. It's the work of the devil.
All right. Lou Landrum is...
It is the work of the St. Bernard the devil.
Out! 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 Out!
Hey, dude, what kind of dog is that?
Out! Out! How? Not quite clear, but let's let him explain. He says, we stand on the principles of God. Do atheists think that our guests are so ignorant that they don't know what an atheist is? Why are they targeting us?
I don't give fuck what an atheist is. Just hand me that bottle. I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy.
How? Not quite clear, but let's let him explain. He says, we stand on the principles of God. Do atheists think that our guests are so ignorant that they don't know what an atheist is? Why are they targeting us? They don't give any money. I wouldn't want their money. Okay, now, first of all, they actually are giving you something. They're not targeting the homeless. They're trying to help the homeless. And this has nothing to do with you. They're trying to actually help them. And he's like, do they think that the homeless are so stupid they wouldn't know they're atheists? No, they think that they're smart enough to take a helping hand from whoever offers it, no matter who they are. Do you think the homeless are really like, wait a minute now, you're about to give me all this free stuff? What denomination are you?
We got any better clips of this, dude? This guy's kind of annoying.
Well, out!
Well, I think the second clip will go along here shortly.
Yeah. Let's go to the second clip. This guy's annoying the piss out of me. So this is kind of crazy, though, dude. I mean, I never understand this. It's like if you know, the main focus here is homeless people, right? People who are struggling, people who don't have any money or a place to live, people who need help. And for a religious organization to fucking, you know, stick their nose in the air and tell them, no, you know.
I thought it was bullshit as well.
It's madness.
It's definitely madness. And then in the second clip, you'll learn about what the thing she said is the group said, well, they're going to wear their shirts, you know, their atheist shirts, their group shirt, right? Well, the atheist group said they're not going to wear it, but they are still. So because they're going to wear their shirt and advertise that they weren't from the Christian group there, they were offended by that, so they don't want them to come in there. But the atheist group said, no, we won't wear the shirts, but they still wouldn't let them in. So they put together their own care packages and still was able to give out the food. Like you said, the homeless don't care.
They don't give a fuck, do they? They just want something to eat. You know? They don't give a shit.
Let's do the second clip.
All right, here we go. What is this? Dude, come on. You could have edited that out. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Homeless Dance Show.
The Spartanburg Soup Kitchen turned away a group of volunteers because of their absence of religious beliefs. The group Upstate Atheists offered to volunteer last year. Its motto is charity beyond belief. The Soup Kitchen's motto is serving the poor and homeless of our community by sharing the love of God. The kitchen's executive director wouldn't go on camera with us today, but says partnering with a volunteer group whose mission is to counter the mission of the Soup Kitchen is something she can't tolerate. She also told us Upstate Atheists were adamant about wearing their group's T-shirts, but the president of Upstate Atheists says that's not true.
When I spoke with her, she said, I don't want you coming in here with your atheist shirts. And I said, well, that's fine. That's not a problem. We're not going to wear anything promoting the group.
You hear that, Joe? She's not going to wear anything. Oh.
Yeah.
You're not going to wear anything? And you're going to, like, serve us food and stuff without any clothes?
When I spoke with her, she said, I don't want you coming in here with your atheist shirts. And I said, well, that's fine. That's not a problem. We're not going to wear anything promoting the group.
After getting turned away, Upstate Atheists raised enough money to make 300 care packages, which they say they'll hand out this Saturday across the street from the Spartanburg Soup Kitchen.
Yes, we call it a care package because we care. We care. Unlike those religious fucks with their fuck you packages, we care packages. Because we care.
They have Bibles in their packages.
Yeah. And last time I checked, Joe, you can't eat a fucking Bible. Am I right?
May this help you through your troubled times.
Am I right? You can't fucking chow down on John chapter 3, whatever the fuck. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's crazy. It's just bizarre, dude. The homeless people are the main focus, and then they're getting bent out of shape because the atheists want to, send them some fucking grub.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy story, I thought. It's who cares? It's like they would just want to help.
Right.
What's that matter?
Exactly. Yeah.
I think it's just it's because the lady, it's funny, they said too, they couldn't get the people to interview with them. The organization, they wouldn't interview.
All right, so now we're approaching a kind of dilemma here, Joe. Should we play another tune, or should we? Let's play another tune. We should play a tune, I think. Yeah, let's play a tune. What should we play?
Let's go ahead and play "Fine Now" by WONDERFLU.
Fine Now, WONDERFLU.
Yep.
What a name.
This track is called "Fine Now." Should be in the queue.
Got it. All right, this is Fine Now by WONDERFLU. You're listening to Mindset Live with Gareth and Joe. We will be right back.
Baby.
That was WONDERFLU, their track "Fine Now." I hope you're fine now that you heard that song. And hey, Garrett, that's off their CD "No End in Sight." Get this, the band is from Paris.
Bitches leave.
No End in Sight. They're from Paris?
From Paris. So we have a lot of international bands we're playing here on Mindset Live tonight.
That's awesome, dude. So, are they from Paris? They speak with the French accent? Do they speak the English?
So you can find out about them at music.
I love the way you just completely fucking ignore me.
Well, I want to give out the band's link, man.
Okay,
music.wonderflu.com.
WONDERFLU.
Yeah. And the CD is No End in Sight, but they have a couple other albums on there as well. So make sure to check it out there. So we just heard that track. We're ready to get back into some news here.
Let me just remind our listeners that flu season is upon us, and you can get WONDERFLU vaccinations at your local Rite Aid.
Oh yes.
Oh yes. All right. So let's spin that wheel again there, Joe. I think it's just your turn. So are you ready?
Let's turn it.
Spin in the wheel. Spin in the wheel.
I got a good one here I wanted to play. Oh yeah, perfect. This week I was watching this show, and I want to bring it to this episode and get your opinion on it.
All
it's
right.
Do you like magic?
Oh yes.
This is about Chris Angel.
Chris Angel.
And I wanted to talk about him because this week on his show he raised a corpse from the dead.
Nice.
One of his illusions. And I wanted to get your opinion about this subject in general.
Well,
I just thought it'd be an interesting topic.
It's funny you should bring that up, Joe, because I've attempted to raise corpses from the dead on several occasions, but I've been largely unsuccessful. Usually, I mean, acquiring a corpse is usually a challenge, which is why several people have gone missing from my neighborhood in the past several months. But bringing them back to full functionality is it's an issue. You can't just like reboot them. You can't just hold down the power button until they reboot. You know, it's like usually when they're done, they're done.
So, have you ever seen the show?
Oh, well, I've never. I mean, I know of Chris Angel. You know, I've seen bits and pieces of him on TV, but I've never actually sat there and watched his show from beginning to end.
Yeah, I caught this show the other night. I was just flipping through, and what he does, like this particular season, I guess he's doing like all these illusions, and I have the clip there. The first part of the clip is like kind of a short interview about this show he has out right now. He's doing 11 illusions. And one of the illusions he did, I caught on this last show he did. He had a corpse up there, and I was thinking about Paratalk because they had some paranormal investigators there. They wanted to pick up some EVP.
Now, Chris, as head of programming for A&E Network, I have to ask you a question. Now, you want me to seriously believe that on next week's episode, you want to raise a corpse from the dead. Now, that's not the issue I have here, Chris. The issue that I have is that you want us to put an actual dead fucking body on television.
Have you ever seen any of his illusions?
As I say, little bits and pieces. I haven't seen, you know.
He does this stuff out live too, and you're watching it on TV, and it is pretty fascinating to see it.
But dude, let me ask you this, right? He's saying he raised a corpse from the, now. When you're watching this on television, how do you?
It's obviously staged.
Well, of course. I mean, he's not like, you know, but how do you know that that's like a real, honest to goodness cadaver? It's a real corpse, and not just some dude lying there holding his fucking breath.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. In the episode, they shows his team tracking down someone that can donate a cadaver, you know, for the illusion. So they finally got one. But like you said, it could have just been a...
excuse me, ma'am. I just noticed that your grandfather died last week. Could we, like, have his body and bring him back to life on network television? Sign these forms, please.
That's basically what they were trying to do.
Sign these papers. And your grandfather will live again.
I mean, how is that? I mean, how does this happen?
So he had one up there, and then so the first part of the clip is the interview. The second part, we'll play that, is the actual where it shows him doing it.
All right, what's the name of this clip? I'm not seeing. It's not leaping out at me here.
Oh, it should be Raising the Dead.
Raising the Dead. All right, let's play it.
All right, Dan.
He's the most watched illusionist in history and the #1 best-selling magician alive. For more than 5 years, he freaked minds on A&E show Mind.
Oh my God!
He's the most watched illusionist in history and the #1 best-selling magician alive. For more than 5 years, he freaked minds on A&E show Mind Freak, and after a short break from television where he was building the best-selling magic show in Vegas, he returns to television with a new show on Spike TV, Believe. Let's take a look at a clip.
It's a whole new Chris Angel.
For the very first time, we're giving up some secrets.
As he and his team take you behind the scenes.
Let's not hide anything from the public. Let's show them the process.
To witness the method to his magic.
It's like the ultimate table of death. Exactly.
11 weeks.
The stakes are greater than ever.
11 epic illusions, including the bullet catch.
12 magicians have lost their life attempting the bullet catch. And hopefully I'm not 13. 1.
Cement grave.
I want to be buried alive in an above-ground tomb.
Walking blind.
I'm fascinated with high wire acts. The only difference, I want to do it blind.
Oh my God.
And Chris's most controversial demonstration ever. Raise the Dead.
In the trailer, it says that you raise the dead, and in doing some research about you, I found that you did the show Phenomenon, this reality show, where you said that you were only doing it to prove that you could not conjure the dead, and that supernatural abilities were inherently false. But it seems like you are raising the dead. What is the difference between what you are doing and what you sort of combated early on?
So basically, you're saying that I'm contradicting my message.
I'm asking if you are.
And no, that's a good question. And the answer is, by the way, I just did a an interview in a newspaper. It wasn't the Huffington Post, so I won't credit them. But it's going to come out probably the next couple of days, where I challenged a Long Island medium. I gave her $2 million if she can do something that I can't.
Answer the fucking question, dirtbag.
Do something that I can't reproduce or explain how it's done, because she's using her ability to do cold reading and a lot of the techniques that we employ as magicians for personal gain and playing on people's
answer the fucking question.
Emotional suffering when they lose a loved one, and capitalize on it.
Well, that's correct. For my next trick, by the way, I'm Chris Angel, world-famous magician. For my next trick, I'm going to turn a living person into a corpse.
Yep. I'm going to kill him.
Emotional suffering when they lose a loved one, and capitalize on it. And I'm against that. So you're asking me about raising it. I put a line between reality and illusion. A lot of what I do is real, and a lot of it's an illusion. It's just entertainment. You know, and I think when you watch the show, obviously the promos are going to be cut a certain way because they want to engage the public. I'll let the audience to determine. It's a Halloween episode, so think about it in context. I'll let the audience determine whether it's real or not. Like the use of 2 medical students. May I use both of you, please? Just stay right there.
Now, are these 2 medical students that he wants to use both of them? Are they like smoking hot chicks?
Yeah, they're like interns or something, students. Yeah.
Yeah, you're 2.
And so part of the experiment, he wanted to get a doctor and some medical.
I want to use you 2. You're 2 medical students. I want to use you.
The use of 2 medical students. May I use both of you, please?
Okay. You want to use us? Okay. Hey, Sue, he wants to use us.
There, you're going to come this way, and you're going to take this glove and place it onto your right hand, please.
And then you're going to undress slowly, take off your clothes, and then you're going to come over here and sit on my lap.
You're going to take this glass, and I want you to tap the glass in a couple of moments in the rhythm.
And then I want you to close your eyes and give me your hand.
You're going to take this glass, and I want you to tap the glass in a couple of moments in the rhythm of her pulse. As you feel her pulse, I want you to tap the glass. Put your hand on his neck. If you feel a pulse.
Ew, that's gross.
Okay. And tap the glass.
What is that, dude?
That thing is tapping the glass.
And now, I want you to put your hand on his neck. And now I want you to tap the glass. No, tap! I said tap the glass. Dude, what is this? You saw this, right?
Yeah, I saw it, and actually, in the link will be the video to this, so you guys can see it. But yeah, he has the corpse on the table, and he has the volunteer next to it, and he basically is having the corpse kind of connected to the volunteer in a way, where they kind of transfer their energy a little bit. And so he has these EVP monitors set up there too, like paranormal investigators there and all this stuff, and so that's the setup. They have 2 people up there like that, and the 1 dead person and 1 live person. And it's almost like the live person, like her soul, like he's trying to, like her soul's coming out of her body and going into this corpse and making it breathe.
Yeah.
Or maybe the corpse is coming back, but you hear the breathing sound if you continue playing it.
I'm coming back from the dead. So, dude, I mean, this is obvious fucking nonsense, right?
And it's funny because in the crowd, they have people that witnessed it, but he gave them the opportunity in the beginning to opt out because if they felt it was like sacrilegious or something, or
yeah,
and a couple people did. A couple people actually didn't go. I'm not watching this.
Yeah,
but I think the people they know what's going on. The people in the audience. It's obviously a TV show. So, and when you watch it too, the corpse, he when he starts breathing, like it's almost like the embalming fluid comes out of his mouth a little bit.
That's so awesome.
And the people, you'll see in the clip, the people actually they run out of the room.
Yeah, it's a scam. I think anyone who thinks this is real is a bit mental. It's obvious bullshit. But I don't know, dude. I mean, Chris Angel. I mean, he's got like just like a kind of shock tactic with his kind of magic. He tries to really kind of push people's buttons and get them, like shocked or kind of
that's what it's about.
worked up kind of thing. And get all crazy.
Can you play the rest of that clip there?
I think I closed it actually, but I can reopen it.
Because that's the good part where he's bringing them back to life.
Does the corpse get up and talk at the end or something?
You'll have to do it.
Doctor, it's inexplicable. I saw the chest raised and I have no explanation.
You have to rewind it.
And your meters, did they indicate anything?
Yes, there was a definite...
Wait, they had like a doctor there?
Yeah, they had a doctor there to because he wanted the doctor to explain, is this possible? And the doctor said no in the beginning of the show. He's like, well, I want you to witness this, and you explain it, how when this person comes back. Rewind it more, too.
All right.
Keep going.
That's him breathing?
Did you feel a pulse?
I felt the pulse.
Doctor?
It's inexplicable. I saw the chest raised and I have no explanation.
All right, so here's what's going on. That guy is either 100% not a doctor, or he is a doctor, and he's just been handed a check of a very large amount of money.
Yeah, so that's where the med students came in.
It was one or the other, right? He's either not a doctor, and he's just fucking, I play a doctor on TV, or he is a doctor, and he was just handed
This is unexplainable.
Yeah, it's fucking nonsense, dude.
Yes, there was a definite break in the electromagnetic field. There was some kind of a spirit presence.
What did you feel?
The air getting sucked out of the room.
I noticed tears in your eyes. Tell me what that's about.
I noticed tears in your eyes. Tell me what that's about. I wonder how he reacted if he said, yeah, the corpse farted and it's really fucking bad and it brought tears to my eyes.
Out of the room.
I noticed tears in your eyes. Tell me what that's about.
Or if she'd been like, I'm laughing.
Out of the room.
I noticed tears in your eyes. Tell me what that's about.
I've never seen anything like it.
I noticed that you're holding him. Love is so strong, isn't it? It's what we all need to function. What did you feel?
Felt out of breath. Felt displaced. Very sweaty, like my heart was slowing down.
Julia, how are you? Tell us about your experience.
I felt like glued to the table.
It was almost like your body was dead.
Yeah.
People might be...
Yeah, you felt like you were glued to the table. Actually, you'll find that you can't move because we have actually glued you to the table.
I noticed tears in your eyes. Tell me what that's about. Upset or disappointed in me.
See, Chris Angel seems like one of these dudes who's like all into himself, right? He's into himself. And he has no problems whatsoever hooking up with chicks. In other words, he can go out and pick up a hot chick in like 3 seconds.
Yeah, because every time in his clips, if you watch him, he's always going up to some girls. One he walked into like where they're having coffee, and he picked up their coffee telepathically or whatever.
I'm a magician.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, totally." He's like, "Can I use her?" And she's like, "Can I use your coffee?" She's like, "Yeah." She was like freaking out.
I'm a master of the mystic arts. I can make a part of my body disappear inside you.
Or no, he levitated it.
Upset or disappointed in me for going down this road. But for me, I think of life as a gift. Every moment that we all have is a gift. It's very easy to take that for granted and get caught up in the small things. I thank you so much, and God bless you all.
What was the point of that?
There's no point to it, dude. Nothing.
The illusion was one thing, but what was the point of that end part? Was that even needed?
He's a douche.
Is there some kind of lesson I'm supposed to learn?
He's a douche.
So what'd you think? You have to see the video clip. That's the best.
It's fucking bullshit, nonsense, stupid retard crap.
That's the kind of stuff you see on TV.
Dude, you gotta stop watching TV, dude. 98% of everything on TV is fucking garbage. Brain rot shit.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating to see this stuff, though. It's funny, though. That's why I like to bring it to the show. We wouldn't have any stories for the show if we didn't have this, right?
That's right.
That's right.
God bless you.
God bless you.
So you see, Joe, love is something that we all need to survive. We need it. Did you feel that electricity, Joe? Joe, I noticed you have tears in your eyes. What's that all about?
Well, now that you ask.
What's that all about, Joe? God bless you all. Now get this fucking corpse out of here. It's stinking.
Yeah, so the clip will be there, so you guys can watch it.
Well,
make sure to check it out.
There you have it, folks.
Fake or not.
We've rapidly. I mean, where has these 2 hours gone, Joe? I mean,
yeah,
Mindset Live has come to an abrupt end. I mean, we've been yapping for 2 hours, playing some clips, joking around, playing some kick-ass music, and it's time to say goodbye for another episode of Mindset Live. But what are we going to play out with, Joe? Let's play out with a kick-ass track. What do you think?
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. Make sure to check out this show on podcast, available this coming Monday at mindsetcentral.com. And you can get more of these songs at Mindset Radio Hour, but we're going to play out with this track called Bricks and Roses. And it's by a group called Slonk Donkerson. Hope I said that right.
What are they called?
Slonk Donkerson.
Slunk Dunker. They were high or drunk when they thought of that, dude. There's no question. Slonk Donkerson.
But the song is great. It's called Bricks and Roses. We'll have the link there for the band.
Go. All right, Bricks and Roses. Thank you all for listening live, guys. We really appreciate it. And the rest of you can catch up on Monday with the MP3. My name is Gareth. We've been here with Joe. This has been Mindset Live. We'll be back next week with more stories, more topics, more conversation. But until then, farewell, good brothers.
Baby You're listening to the Mindset Network.